Hola class, how we doing? Welcome to the Blitz edition of videos. My goal today is to make this as short as I possibly can, 30 minutes or less. I started the timer. I actually have to take Seton Hall students because we were invited to a luxury box at the New York Yankees, and I need to get on the New Jersey Turnpike. Let's see if I can do this quickly and be helpful. Ready? Data analytics is clearly the next big thing companies are striving to and falling behind in business if they do not implement any sort of analytics-driven approach. We're in agreement. In your opinion, what companies are severely behind in adopting analytic approaches in business, and why do you think they're so slow to adopt to this new way of marketing efforts? So, let me tackle the second half of this right here. Instead of name-dropping all these other companies, because there's a multitude of them, chances are an easy way to find them are those that are in consumer products that sell to retailers, and the retailers are doing all the data analytics. So it's Walmart and Home Depot and Target and CVS and Walgreens that have all the analytics data, but Crest, for instance. So one easy answer I just gave you. If you're not selling to the direct user, it's harder for you to get good data. All right. If you're selling through a wholesaler or you're selling through a retailer, whoever has the last part of the equation, either the retailer or if you're selling direct, then you have the analytics. The other hard part about the analytics is even if you get the databases, even if you get all the inputs, and you need to convince upper management that this is the way to make decisions. It's sort of like the Major League Baseball coach who always likes to make decisions with their guts as opposed to looking at the data, where most baseball, the decisions are being made by data, more money ball than gut. Look at the percentages, look at the numbers. Knowing that elasticities of your business drivers help predict how specific changes, what are some of the biggest drivers that affect in business elasticity? Well, things that are elastic. Elastic means stretching, like a rubber band is stretching. That means there's a lot of variability, i.e. price is elastic when a little modification in price can change demand. Raise price, drop demand. Drop price, raise demand. So, I don't know, it depends on the business and what's going to impact elasticity. It's also going to depend on the industry and how many substitute products are available. Create apps that convince and offer unique value, provide social value, incentives, entertain. What are some examples of non-tech business who have excelled at this? Quick example, Charmin has an app, toilet paper. Let it sink in for a second. Charmin has an app. So what's Charmin do? Charmin will tell you in New York City and a couple other cities where the cleanest bathrooms are. Now, does that not add value? How perfect does a marketing campaign have to be in order to be effective? Well, in my opinion, it's got to have ROI. You got to be able to track ROI, and your campaign has to have a high enough ROI to make it worth the financial investment. Is the key to marketing knowledge? What is the key to marketing knowledge? The more a company has, the more effective its campaign will be? No. You saw this in a couple of the articles. Having tons and tons of data is not enough. Being able to interpret the data and being able to change or make operational decisions based on the data. That's more important. What are some practical ways for companies not to get carried away with an overflow of data? Well, testing. There might be 100 data points, but these 5 are the ones that consistently give you the ROI. You modeling, algorithms, testing. You are able to check. You can use historical data to see. You can model. That's how you do it. And then you do small experiments. You don't do the entire company. You do small experiments. Marketing has formerly been one of the least technical functions of a business. Perhaps. What changes do modern marketers need to make data analytics increasingly drives marketing strategies? Well, it starts with market orientation. If you're not externally oriented, then data analytics is going to go nowhere in the C-suite. Second, you got to have a learning organization, because if you don't want to learn as an organization and you got to keep your head down and the blinders on, all the external data about customers and competitors is going to be helpful. Right? Then you need people that are in charge of the algorithms and in charge of the data to be pretty high up the food chain. And there needs to be a very good feedback loop amongst the data analytics individuals and the main decision makers in the C-suite. This type of thinking is a totally different way of thinking, almost like you need a statistician marketers. How do you build this capability to traditional organizations where this type of thinking is well outside typical job requirements, in many cases employee capability short? Well, you can outsource it. That's one way to do it. I don't think that that's the best way to do it. And it's not that you have to be a statistician. Even though I'm technically trained as a statistician, I'm more of an interpreter of the data as opposed to running the math. SPSS runs the math for me. Excel can run the math for you. Okay? Don't get too nuts about someone can build the algorithm for you. I like to go back to my metaphor that I've used earlier in the semester. I need you to be the race car driver. You don't need to know how to build the engine. You just need to know how to drive the car really, really well. By the way, we're starting Seton Hall. Analytics, data analytics, this is something we're heading in this direction to make sure we're training everybody on the undergrad and grad level. Working on it. So, this is a very good cumulative kind of article of a lot of things we've been talking about all semester. And it has a nice pair. A couple other quick things in here. Love some of this stuff. Love the swim lanes. If you noticed on page 63, UCLA marketing professor Dominic Hassens, if you go back, one of our toolkit articles, either the second, third, or fourth week, this dude. Anything else in here I wanted to get to? Nope. Okay, let's move on. We're speed. Think mobile devices. For mobile devices, think apps, not ads. For instance, I just gave you that Charmin example. Is that not a really good example? All right, how am I doing time-wise? So far, so good. Although this article discusses the importance of creating valuable apps as a company rather than creating mobile advertising, I feel, though, the majority of companies still try to focus on mobile advertising rather than quality apps. Because mobile advertising is easier. All you have to do is buy media. Why do you think companies have a hard time adopting these ideas? Not only is it easier and faster to just do mobile advertising, there is some rate of return. Okay? Is it because they have people in charge or unwilling to make these changes? It's not only that they're unwilling to make these changes, maybe they don't have the technical skills to do it and they don't want to outsource this, or all that unknown is preventing them. It's like inertia from moving forward. But Charmin is much better creating a clean bathroom app than they are plating mobile ads. Is marketing through apps by chance that someone will find it useful and download it? It's not by chance, It's called IMC, Integrated Marketing Communications. How do people find out about your app, which is a question that's coming out? It's in all your communications, okay? Press releases, anytime you do a traditional ad, other digital media, you run a Facebook campaign, you look for users, your product. How would you not have an image of it on your product? People buy Charmin. Just in the packaging on the outside. Download the Charmin app. We'll tell you where the clean bathrooms are when you travel. With millions of apps, how do you stay ahead of your competition? It all comes down to find out what people want and give it to them. In marketing parlance, we call that the value proposition. The give-get ratio. You give more than you're supposed to get back. If you give more than you're supposed to give back, people will like you. That's how you stay ahead of your competition. Marketing research, data, that's how you do it. Is it enough just to have an app that supplies value, or does it also need to be engaging? It's better if it's engaging and supplies value, but value over engaging. Entertainment for the sake of entertainment is probably not enough. If an app also needs to be engaging to be effective, how can a company achieve this, especially when a dry company like an insurance company? Well, you tell people what they need to know. You know, insurance companies provide very valuable services and very valuable information. And it's complicated. Life insurance is complicated. Homeowners insurance is complicated. But an insurance company, especially homeowners insurance, can give you all kinds of home tips. They can give you ways to increase value to your home, to increase your to decrease your insurance liability. You know, the insurance company has to do this with a CRM kind of mentality with existing customers. I wouldn't do it with customers. But a company like Geico, their app, what do? Their app is mainly designed to get cheap quotes. You know, you don't have to call the company to find out. You just download the app, you flip a couple dials, you go like this, all of a sudden you have a quote. 15, 20 minutes later, you have insurance. Now that almost every company has an app, what has been the most effective way you've seen a company different app from competitors in an app? I think I kind of got to this one. I'm good there. Clearly, customer usage of your brand's app is better than most banner ads in mobile browsing. But the overwhelming number of apps out there, wouldn't a company need to build a CRM relationship? We're in total agreement here. All right? Especially for existing customers, for dry companies, or things that are not consumer-oriented. It might be more high involvement, that kind of thing. Is the future of marketing getting into the consumer's app repertoire versus product repertoire? I have no idea what you're talking about here. If it's a digital product, these two things are the same thing. If it's not a digital product, you know, look what Amazon's doing. They don't even necessarily have an app. They just have a button. You know, you get the Tide button, and you press the Tide button, and through Wi-Fi in your house, it automatically reorders, and Amazon delivers it the next day through Prime. You know, that's kind of both. All right, very good. So we had a couple articles together that mashed together, making mobile ads work. This is a one-pager, which for some reason or another I can't find. Oh, it's here. So I like this. You know, I like articles that kind of pair together from different time periods. A little bogus, but this one. For years, I've been reading that display ads aren't effective. I'm in agreement with you. Click rates are low, yet the entire internet is financed by them. I disagree with this statement here. I don't think the entire internet is financed by them. I bet you less than a third of all the revenue on the internet is created by advertising. Google's one that makes billions on them. They do make billions on them, but Google's banner ad stuff is not even 20% of their total revenue. Search is their total revenue. And that they're not banner ads. That's a totally different thing. Settle this for me. Are they effective or are they not? If not, why so much money spent on them? So much money is spent on them because they're cheap and easy. Okay, they're very cheap. Are they effective? Marginally effective. They're really not all that effective at all. They could be if they're time specific. You know, for instance, when Star Wars tickets went on sale in October, yeah. But that's something that's timely. You know, just a regular banner ad for something, for some consumer product that's not timely, not really all that interesting. Is it true that if mobile ads were more personalized, the mobile ads would be more effective? Not really. I don't think so. I think the better thing would be is if you had a mobile app, right? And say you were interested in Starbucks. Well, you have the Starbucks app. Not only can you do payment there, not only does it control your loyalty card information, but maybe, you know, Starbucks knows when you're within 250 feet of a Starbucks when you're walking through the mall, and they send you like a little bonus. And then you go redeem that particular coupon. That's the way to do it. Not just more personalized ads. I thought we wouldn't be focused on making mobile ads, that they really don't work. See nuggets from above. You know, they're trying to tell us that utilitarian but high involvement are better for ads. But if you look, okay, these are really small percentages, single digit, mid between 6s, 7s, and they have a huge sample size. You know, if I was a reviewer of this, they could just have a statistical anomaly because their study has so much power. But intuitively, this really doesn't make that much sense. How can you explain more about attribution aspect of moving for advertising analytics 2.0? I think I have this question in the wrong spot, but so what? I'll go back to it. So attribution. You know, attribution means to attribute. So what are you attributing what to what? And they want to make sure that you are attributing, you know, a lot of times because of the swim lanes. Let's see, I'll combine these two questions together. You may be attributing all your ROI because of this, and you're only thinking about things in terms of one swim lane. And as per the examples, you know, it was a YouTube video that was a banner ad that came up from a blog post, and there's like 5 or 6 different integrated marketing communication items that eventually created that sale over a 3-week period. So I like the concept of swim lane, you know, and if we have the data to be able to go outside the swim lanes to make multi-attribution vehicles part of the equation, I mean, it's this graphic right here. I don't think I can explain it any better than that. Analytics 3.0. How about that? Nice pair with the 2.0 article, 3.0 article. These are in the same year. This was March 2013. This is December 2013. We're still in that big data thing. Let's see how I'm doing timing-wise. Oh, I got like 14 minutes left if I can make my half-an-hour mark. I have 3 articles. Just wondering, what are the most popular, useful, or interesting products to come from Analytics 3.0 or anything big data? I don't know about products. This is a process. This is a way of thinking. This is a way of doing business. You know, this is a way to solve customer, to find out. I don't know about products. I mean, maybe there's more interesting software databases. There's better algorithms that could be created, a B2B kind of products to make Analytics 3.0 easier. But, you know, I don't know about products. Also wondering about some of the examples of embedded analytics. Article mentions customer-oriented products and features, not really expand on that. Oh, I missed a question here. So embedded analytics is a way to make sure that, let's see, how can I do this well? Let me hit pause. I'll come up with an example for you. So instead of thinking about gathering data and making decisions from data, which is what analytics is, in the process of creating the product from manufacturing to eventually end sale, that data is systematically being collected at each one of those data points. And if you're looking for something, i.e. to reduce costs, we have analytics embedded in the overall process. I think that's a good way to think about that. The article makes mention of privacy concerns of workers whose activities become very public in the Analytics 3.0 environment. Then it says something like, we need to look away. This feels potentially significant stumbling block. Are you aware of any instances where embracing Analytics 3.0 has caused an employee revolt of any scale? Not off the top of my head, no. No. Are there some ways that a company can manage their employee perceptions of the vast data collection taking place? Well, they can educate, but really, are they being transparent with their employees and their customers? Are they telling everyone why we're collecting this data, and they are in fact delivering very good value from all this data collection, and the consumer has a little bit of control to opt in and opt out? Then I don't have any problem here. I really don't. It's companies that hide what they're doing and why they're doing it is the problem. One can make the argument that increasing use of data analytics will make the knowledge and teams more important in the future. Thank you, whoever asked this question. So let's go up to 300%. One can make the argument that increased use of data analytics will make the knowledge and experience of marketing teams less important in the future. It's not marketing teams. We've been talking about this whole semester. And it's not individual teams. One can make the argument that the increased use of data analytics will make knowledge and experience of the firm more market-oriented. Any one silo is not important. Marketing is just a silo. Should be should be market-oriented, not marketing. Okay, enough of my rant. How do you integrate statistics into your sales and marketing force? It's not just statistics, it's data. It's a data stream. And it's making good information, making good decisions from data. Should you focus on building their understanding or creating tools they can use with little statistical knowledge? Well, you need to create tools that they can use with little statistical knowledge. It could be something as simple as a dashboard. It could be something simple as on your phone you have an app. IBM's making apps for all their clients right now, and the app is nothing more than a dashboard. Wouldn't it be nice for Verizon to have an app with a dashboard of all their significant customer metrics so someone can just go, oh, that's what, oh no, we are doing really bad in the Northeast. What's going on? We're down. We need to send some more marketing dollars and pump up the volume up there. Okay, very good. We're in speed mode. We're working on it here. 2 more articles. Data's credibility problem. All right. So we basically had 2 articles that are saying, God bless data. Data is the future. I always love these articles that kind of give you a little bit of a contrarian view, right? Because this article reminds me a little bit of marketing research. And marketing research with regards to if you don't design this study well and you bias ask questions and then you try to make good management decisions from inaccurate data, there's going to be a problem. It's the same thing with embedded analytics or collecting data. Guess what? You have to do it well. You need to make sure there's no errors, because you're going to make very big decisions with that data. That's the whole point. When managers blame the data set to be inaccurate and make instinctive decisions, this can be an excuse for managers to do what they want despite the data. It could be. You can always find fault in data. Yeah, but if data is consistently collected over time and keeps finding the same result, eventually everybody's going to agree that, the climate is warming eventually. However, the data company is more accurate than third-party data. This is a manager that doesn't want to believe, and maybe the data is wrong, but you have to go back and collect the data the right way. Because if you want to make a $200 million decision, you don't make that on a whim, right? The article's talking about there are silos between those created data and those who use it. Do you think this is still the case in firms and organizations where CRM is prevalent? Hell yeah. It's part of the problem. Many people who use CRM don't know why they're using it. They really don't. It's a culture and a philosophy. And both the data creators, the analytics people, and the sales people, and the marketing people further upstream all need to be on the same page to why we're using the data and how it can be helpful to add value to their existing customers. Is there an aspect of marketing to include the customers inside the company so they can help with marketing? is a major aspect of marketing to include customers inside the company so they can help with marketing. Well, it's not just marketing. I mean, all the employees inside the company need to help. I'm not really sure what you're getting at here. So when there's a marketing issue, what's the first step a company should take in order to resolve that issue? Well, we're looking at articles that there should be a data stream involved. If there's a data stream and we can identify it and we can understand where the problem is, then we have a good idea where to go attack. If we're firefighters and we see the fire not on the second floor, we know we don't have to go to the second floor. It's probably somewhere else in the house. Do you think that having someone who reports to IT in each department as a liaison between data customers and data creators would be the most effective solution for communication? It's not who reports to who. Everybody's trained. IT is everyone. And then this IT data thing is not just one individual person in the department. The more cross-functional, the more market-oriented you will be, the less siloed. This card will read something like from supply chain. Well, supply chain has a lot of synergies. So what other synergies do you think might exist between data analytics management and supply chain? Well, supply chain is all about data analytics, because how do you make those decisions on what gets shipped where, or what you should use, or how much steel you should order, and how much waste there is from the steel, and based on the waste, how much you can recycle. That's all data analytics that feeds supply chain decisions. What if your customer base is so large you can't connect with every single person? I'm sorry whoever asked this question, but that's mathematically impossible in today's world. There is no customer base so large. We have the digital technologies that there could be 100 trillion people in your customer base, and you would still have the math and the servers and the computers to be able to have an individual account for 100 trillion people. This device has 1 billion circuits on a chip, okay? There is no customer database so large. Alright, this article is a brand new article from 2015. I never read it before. It's from June. And a very good look at Alibaba. And I like this idea. This is not anything new. We've actually been talking about this all semester, primarily between Google and Amazon and CVS and Walgreens and Target. So here's a very good example with another company named Alibaba. So if you only heard the name of the company and didn't know that much about them, there you go. On page 78, we have Google, Netflix, Amazon, Alibaba. Excellent examples of algorithm-based companies. Where do you see algorithms also beneficial as marketing tools besides e-commerce? Well, we just talked about supply chain. Okay? Anywhere that management decisions need to be made, especially if they could be automated, algorithms. Netflix isn't a marketing tool, is it? Netflix really isn't e-commerce, is it? More entertainment? Algorithms could determine what ads you see. Algorithms could determine whether you're sick or not. Do you have the flu? Could you have an algorithm, an app on your phone, and you can kind of hold it up to your ear, hold it up to your forehead, and the algorithm determines whether you need to go see your doctor or not? Perhaps. How can a manager know if people are working together or not? Do they just look at the results? Well, they definitely look at the results, but two people, what about Slack? What about just a regular email system? You can tell, Blackboard. I can tell if two people are working together on Blackboard or not. The data stream will tell me. With employees giving themselves self-promotion, how is it beneficial from the company's perspective? Well, if self-promotion is a good thing and rated high, that was my 30-minute goal. I have 5 questions left. With employees giving themselves self-promotion, how is that beneficial from the company's perspective? Well, it's a data stream. It depends on how the company wants to rate self-promotion. Perhaps it's a good thing, perhaps it's a bad thing, and on the algorithm, you would either get a negative valence or a positive valence. How can a company identify which algorithm is right for them? You test. In previous articles and previous weeks, we talked about A/B testing. In the 3.0 and the 2.0 articles, we talked about modeling data. You test. You test. And you tweak. I mean, Google's search algorithm, I don't know how long it is, but I know it's really long. I know they change it or tweak it about every 2 days. Somewhere between 160 to 180 times a year, that algorithm gets tweaked. And they better tweak it. It's 90% of their revenue. 96% of their profit. Are you aware of any instance where self-tuning approaches at Alibaba was not successful? To be honest with you, I'm also behind the curve on Alibaba. All right, so I know what I learned from this article. For example, the time they jumped too quickly on a trend and it backfired. Well, you could jump too quickly on a trend, but then it's not that it backfired. If it didn't work out, that tells you something. I mean, Amazon came up with a phone. If you remember the Fire phone, that was a colossal disaster, okay? But the Fire tablet's been doing well, and the Fire TV stick has been doing really, really well. So guess what? 2 out of 3 is not bad. You go to the Hall of Fame on that. Aside from Netflix, Amazon, and Alibaba, what other companies do you think you've been applying to appropriately? We've been talking about this all semester. Don't need to go there. IBM, Jesus. Appreciate the Alibaba example. What do you think about, how do you get in this mindset into a legacy company whose employee base skews to the I don't like change set? You're in trouble. They're in the wrong industry. You know, where is it here? One of these articles, in the beginning of the article. Hold on. Let me hit pause. I'm going to find it. Alright, I found what I was looking, but it wasn't exactly the quote. I'm on page 63. Get out of your swim lanes from the Analytics 2.0 article. You can see my highlighted here. So get out of your swim lanes and just come this way. Enabled by recent exponential leaps in computing power, cloud-based analytics, and cheap data storage, these predictive tools measure interaction of advertising across media and sales channels, and they identify precisely how exogenous variables, including the economy, competition, weather, affect ad performance. All that I just said was talking about how this data mindset is impacting ad performance, but you can take the word ad out of that thing, and it's what we've been talking about all semester. We have cheap data storage, we had cloud-based analytics, we have algorithms, we collect data, we then use this data to make better decisions, almost in real time. See, that's the other thing that I need to make sure that you heard out of this article. Many of these changes, it's not like, okay, let's create an algorithm, let's put the data in and see what the results are. The algorithms are making the decisions without the manager. They're embedded into the process. And the algorithm includes, if it goes like this, increase. If it goes like this, decrease. You don't need a manager to make that decision. It's obvious. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's interesting. All right, class. I know this was a blitz. I'm sure you don't mind having a shorter video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. We are live in person next week. Follow me on Twitter tonight. Later.